Hiya, my name's Danielle and I'm 23 years old. I have something called Arnold-Chiari malformation. Now, I'm not very good at explaining what it is exactly, so I'm going to read out a little passage which is on the nhs.uk website. It's a Chiari malformation, sometimes called an Arnold-Chiari, means that the lower parts of your brain have been pushed downwards towards your spinal cord, so they are below the entrance to your skull. Now, that's basically the simple terms of what it is. If you'd like to know what it is, medically, then, you could go onto the internet and, a search on it as well. For most people, people won't understand what all these big words mean. Like I still don't now. So, that's just a simple way of saying it. Basically, I'm going to, my blog, I'm going to explain my symptoms, how I deal with it, and my day-to-day life living as somebody with Chiari. Now, my symptoms include a lot of pain, balance problems, weakness problems, all sorts of these problems. One of my symptoms, which isn't a pain, is I have a lot of swelling in my arms and hands, which I will show you in a moment. And this is due to something called syringomyelia. Now, this is associated with a Chiari malformation. So not all of you with this condition will get it, but it's not uncommon to get this. So don't be afraid if you do get this, because it can be very easily treated with something called a shunt, or usually with the first the surgery you get, which is the foramen magnum decompression. It usually, shrinks these cysts, it's fluid on your spine, so it goes away in most cases. Now, my arms, very swollen. So this is what it looks like. It's my hand. It's very strange. They call it the claw, as you can see, it looks like a claw, and everybody stares at it. It's very noticeable. I mean, I'm not exactly a big girl, and I'm not exactly, very small either. But, my arms and hands, my hands especially, don't look like they're from a normal person's hand. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but this is the difference between my hands. This is my right hand, and this is my left hand. Now, unfortunately, the syringomyelia has affected the left side of my body, which means I have a lot of weakness down one side. So I can't walk very far, which is another one of my symptoms. I can walk, I don't need a walking aid, but I do wobble all over the place like I'm drunk. It's quite, so people look at you thinking, why are you drinking at this time of the morning? And before the operation, I had surgery in 2009. I had severe headaches, and these headaches are, at the back of the head. And to be honest, that was unbalanced. I was very wobbly, but, you don't really think much of it when you've had it your whole life, so I didn't think much of it. Some people with this condition, before they get diagnosed, it is a bit of a challenge to be diagnosed, because you go to a doctor, you say, hey, I've got a headache, So, if you are in the middle of being diagnosed, you have to explain your symptoms very thorough, because some doctors just won't understand or listen, which isn't their fault, because some doctors are just completely arrogant and think they know everything. Like me, I found out by accident. A friend of mine took me to the hospital, had an MRI scan, and boom, there it was, a Chiari malformation. And that's great, because it's good because you don't have to go through the agonising weight of everything, but it's not good because you don't have time to really understand what it is. Like I said, the reason why I'm doing this blog is so I can help other people with this condition, and people who haven't been diagnosed yet, to try and seek the right help to understand what it is. And it's important that we all sit together in this, because some doctors and nurses just think it's not that bad, it's not that big of a deal, when if you deal with it yourself, then you'd know that it is a big deal to us, or anyone with a condition that causes a lot of pain. It can cause a lot of depression as well, which isn't great either. It's very important that you speak to somebody. How I deal with it, well, there's different ways I deal with it. For me personally, I do have my bad days and I do have my good days, and at least every week I have a bad day, and I can't get rid of that, unfortunately, but I can try and live with it. I think the most important thing you do is you understand that you have this and that it's not going to go away. That's what you need to. Some people need to accept is that you need to just live with it. Really, learn to live with it and learn to live that it's there. And if you're in too much pain, you rest. Resting is very important, but at the same time, don't rest way too much. To a point where you're not moving, because that can cause a lot more pain, which then you can't actually. You're thinking, well, I know. So every day I have to say to myself, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get up, and it's gonna be better. But sometimes I need to get my my partner who I live with. I need to get him to push me out of bed, just so I start moving. Just to get that movement of the day. I think doing things you love doing. Don't stop the things you love doing unless it's jumping out of an aeroplane. Don't do that. But go for a walk, see the outside world, because some of the world's beautiful. People. There's a lot more out there, and you can do things. You can, absolutely you can. I think people say, oh, how do you get help? What do you do? Well, I think the best thing you do is you do go to your doctor, and you do explain to them what is going on. Now, there's different people. I live in the United Kingdom, and I think personally for me, I go to the Walton Centre in Liverpool. It's a fantastic hospital. You'll probably see it. Actually, at the moment, there's a documentary on Channel 5, so please go check it out. And it's a really fantastic hospital who deals with a lot of brain conditions, and they really help you out. They don't stop until they find something. If there's nothing, there's nothing. But if you have this condition, they're going to treat it properly, and they're going to make it all better. My consultant's called Dr. Andrew Broadbelt. He is a Chiari specialist and specialises in syringomyelia. So if any of you are struggling really bad, and some of your doctors or your surgeons can't do much more else for you, but there is a problem, then please check out Dr. Andrew Broadbelt at the Walton Centre. I live in Northamptonshire, which is it's a good 2-3 hour drive from Liverpool Walton Centre, but it's worth it, absolutely worth it. I don't regret not going there. Also, Oxford John Radcliffe is a very good hospital, and I'm sure people out there's some very good hospitals. So you need to get out there and just try and search for some help, which is really important. But so I want to talk about my day and how it's affected my day-to-day basis. I do, like I said before, it does affect my day. I think, I just start dancing around the house sometimes. The happy things in life. You need to see the happy side, and that's important. You've got loved ones out there, and they are listening to you. Just because they don't quite physically understand what you're going through, they are there for you. So if you'd like to ask any questions, feel free to. I'm not a doctor, so I can't give you a diagnosis, but I can help and I can tell you my story. And I can help. We can all help. By the way, there are some support groups out there on Facebook. Please, it's quite easy to find. Just search some out there. It's really good. It's absolutely fantastic. And if you don't live in the United Kingdom, then there are also other great support groups out there. So yeah, that's it. In my next vlog, I probably will talk about my story a bit more, because I know that I haven't spoke about it. I just wanted to tell you about my day and my symptoms, and that you're not alone. So yeah, that's it. I'd like to wish you a very good day, and I'm sorry if I've been stuttering through this video. My words I sometimes forget. So yeah, that's it. Great. Thank you, and bye.